Good evening, everyone. You are listening to Coffee Talk with Samantha and Paul, and we have a very special guest speaker on with us tonight. We have my friend Brian Walmsley. Hi, Brian.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Good. Hi, Paul.
Hey, Sam. Brian, how you doing?
Good. Doing real good.
Excellent.
Great. Okay. Well, tonight's Coffee Talk is we're getting a different point of view tonight. Normally, Paul and I, we're talking about Christianity and about God. Well, tonight, Brian is on the show with us, and we're very happy to have him on the show because Brian's going to share his beliefs with us. So, Brian, tell us, how would you classify yourself?
I'd probably classify myself as agnostic when it comes to the religious thing.
Okay, so when it comes to religion, what do you mean by agnostic?
Agnostic meaning I don't think I think basically that humans are religion is a human construct, and basically, I mean, if there is a God, then it's probably not anything that we could really, begin to understand. Almost like saying like the universe or something like that.
That the universe created humans.
Well, yeah, it did. And I think that's, a lot of what science, especially, the more modern science we're really starting to uncover.
Okay, now when did you first decide, Brian, that you were going to be agnostic, that you did not believe in God or Jesus?
Well,
did you decide? Is it a choice or is this something?
He didn't say he doesn't believe in God. It's the religion aspect. Is that kind of...
That's really
right.
my thing on it.
I can totally understand that, to be honest with you, Brian. If I might just sit here for a second here. It's funny. I remember at an airport one time. I think I've shared this before on a previous Coffee Talk, and I think I was reading the Bible of all things, and I remember this guy stopped by and saw this, and we just started chatting. And he's like, I didn't know if you're reading the Bible. Yeah, there was something in there that just kind of leaped out at me, and we started chatting. And there's an interesting thing that he brought up, which will always stay with me. He said, religion, especially organized religion, is one of the worst things that has ever happened to Christ's ministry. And I thought about that for a while, and I can sort of understand why people believe that. And I can understand definitely where the concept of a religion, especially a setting of ground rules and do this and don't do that, seems to almost defy with God at one time, let's say, if we were to believe, the fall of Adam, even according to the Torah that Moses wrote, they never had a religion with God. They had a personal relationship with God that they since then had broken off and had fallen. And since then, the only hope at a time where we're in extreme darkness, extreme turmoil, is the only chance of even making a step back towards God, to have some semblance of a religious-ish something, and hence why the Ten Commandments eventually manifested, just because God's I'm losing everything I've ever invested in creating my most beloved creatures with humans. That you can kind of look through the stepping stones. If you want to take it the first day, the second day, and all that, you have to understand the concept of a day isn't necessarily a 24-hour period. But it always starts off with creations, whatever, and it seems like with each passing of the day, things get more and more refined, things get more perfected, if you will. The very last being human beings himself, which must have been Christ possessed, or her Christ possessed. And I would imagine if it was possible to imagine from God's perspective, oh my gosh, I'm losing my most prized possession. They've now fallen. What do I do to try and make an attempt at having them find me again?
Right.
And I can see, but I can certainly understand totally like religion takes really a break, right? It's like, especially with the corruption of the church or whatnot, it's clever.
Yeah.
I'm going to infiltrate and poison the church, and I'll do everything in my power to defile that. And I can certainly understand someone who's very logical in thinking, saying, well, geez, like, religion almost seems counterproductive to if I was God. Why would I even pursue that at all? So
when you talk about God, sorry,
to
go. But
no,
you're referring to the God in the Christian Bible, then I'm assuming, correct?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Right.
And just verbatim, then, everything in the Bible, is what, like, the story of Adam and Eve and, Noah's Ark and all that stuff. That's all. Okay, that's all still on the table for you.
So, okay, this is where it's like, where the rubber meets the road is as far as where faith comes in. It's funny because and as far as like even like the race of giants, like Nephilim and whatnot, there actually have been uncoveries, of ginormous, bone structures and everything. Some, let's say, are pits or whatnot, people just looking for, things, the fame or whatnot. Others have actually been found, and a lot of that scientific community has put the quiet on, put a hush on that as well. You can find the remains of streets or whatnot still found in the Red Sea. So a lot of it that was written, whatever, in the books of Moses, and handed down, in the Torah, which the first 5 books of Moses, and the Christianity, that's kind of phase 2 of the original Jewish religion. The one thing I will say that I'm still fascinated about, as far as a group of people who have survived, are the Jews. I'm still amazed. Everyone else.
Yeah, you really got to get that to them.
I will say, you know what, I love these people. Actually, it's funny, at my first job, I hung out with an Orthodox Jew, and I love this guy. He was great. He taught me so much about Jewish faith and everything, and why they do what they do and everything. I'm like, you know what, I got to hand it to you people. I totally admire you people. You have survived, and you keep on surviving. And he says that in the Bible, it says, my people will be few. There will be a remnant, but they will always survive. Like, yeah, they have. The Egyptians, everybody else seems to, the Babylonians, they all seem to kind of get wiped out, but it's like the Jews, although they are limited in number, so to speak, they press on. And so it's like, all right, I got to hand it to these people. They continued on. Anyway, that's kind of my take on that, but.
Yeah, the way, that God is described, in the Bible, the Old Testament, the New Testament, really just kind of comes off as, really kind of petty, really jealous and, all these very negative, like, oh, you must worship me and, all these other kind of things. Those, to me, seem like they're human emotions. They're not really the emotions a all omnipresent, deity would certainly have, And, if human beings sort of fall and ran it, and, you have the arms race where, you have to, basically invent hell, and, if you're not good, you're going to go there. And, I understand the Bible as, being a mechanism for, basically controlling primitive people, to get up, and, like the golden rule, treat unto others. Like, I think people needed it back then. But, anymore, I think the more we evolve as a society, really the need for, that kind of, that level of superstition is really, I just don't think it's very, relevant anymore.
Now, let me ask you, Brian. Now, okay, do you believe in a God? Not even the God of the Bible. Being agnostic, do you believe in a God?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily consider myself representative of, agnosticism, but I believe that there might be.
Okay.
But it's definitely something, the human mind, obviously can't comprehend. If you take a look at, trying to comprehend, the stars in the observable universe, basically, if you look at the Milky Way on the right kind of night, in the right location, it basically looks like a cloud. But
Okay.
each one of those, particles of that individual cloud are actually, stars. So it's one of those things where I don't think the human brain would really be able to, necessarily comprehend something to that scale.
Okay, do you pray?
Well,
do you pray? Do you pray? And if so, who do you pray to?
Well, I mean, prayer is sort of just, wishful thinking. Anyway, I run into this problem a lot when I'm on Facebook, my mom's in the hospital, looking for prayers. And the thing that always pops into my head is George Carlin's bit when he's talking about, what about God's plan? Like, what you're praying for isn't in his plan. What's he going to do? Change his plan? It's like, what's the point of being God if every rundown schmuck with a $2 prayer book come and mess up your plan? So
there was it was funny. I was actually with Francis Bacon. What was I'm trying to remember what religion it was that based on that. It was called the terminology is called predestination, saying there was a concept of I'm not going to ask you my own born to go to hell. Or it was the concept of it's like whether you pray or not, what difference does it make? And one of the responses to that was God being omniscient and all-knowing, knows every possible outcome that you take or whatnot. So whether you choose to pray or don't pray, God knows that you're going to do that or not to do that, and gives us the ability, or what the closest term that we have that we can understand as humans. That's how book of art is called free will. And what that is essentially saying is that whether you pray or don't pray, God knows both outcomes. Everything you do, the outcome is already known. So whether you say, I'm going to, not pray or whatever, he knows that you're going to do that. But if you were to change your mind, you would know that as well. And that's the thing is, as humans, we're kind of linear and limited in our thinking. And a lot of that, I believe, is probably for our own protection. Like you actually, and as you were kind of talking about, we just haven't comprehended all that. In fact, God even mentions that in the book of Job, where he says, can you count the stars? Can you even fathom the stuff I'm talking about? And this is where Job's complaining to God, saying, why is this and everything happening to me? He's doing the why me, he's doing the pity party type thing on himself. And God's like, dude, I've got this. I know all of this. There's certain, instead of worrying about yourself or whatnot, can you even try, you can't even fathom half of what is even in front of you right now. Just accept what is right now, continue on the path that you're on, and things will unfold as they may. It was talent, but getting back to whether it's not in the plan, it's all of that is somewhat part of the plan, though, from what in my research or whatnot. It actually helps. I'm not sure if you've actually done it before, but if you actually read the Bible from start to finish, and it's a challenge. It's really challenging. It takes about a year to get through. I've done it about 4 times, and it's tough. The best way to do it I have found, this is me, is I actually just went to a bookstore and just got it on disc. Vondervon did an excellent version of this. It was probably the best $50 I've ever spent, and it was something like it's not just one guy reading like a narrative, like a book on tape, if you will, but it actually has actors, they actually have music, they have sound effects and everything as well to help keep you intrigued with it. And it takes a year to get through, though. I will watch it. It's a real challenge. But I can't help but find that after I go through this, though, you find yourself change, and you start to see things in a new way. I'm just saying, there's something to consider.
Well, that sounds like childbirth.
Like what?
I said a year trying to, get through a book. This just sounds like childbirth to me.
That's what I'm saying. It's a challenge. It's a challenge, but it is. For me, at least, it's like as it holds you in, it starts to kind of hit you almost personally, and I think it's kind of easy for each person. I think the best stuff. I'm not sure if I have this is probably the one of the worst analogies I've ever given, but there was a book. It was called or a movie. It was called The Never-Ending Story. And it was the concept of like a kid just reading the book, and like midway through the book, you find yourself he's like kind of a part of the book, and the book starts coming to life.
Yep, that's a never-ending story.
it has that kind of effect on each person. Everybody I've ever talked to, actually, when the ball was such a fan, okay, there's ever parts where you ever found that it kind of leaks out at you, like, yeah, such and such and such and such. And I'm like, yeah, me too, but it might be somewhere else or something else. Or you'll open up a passage and start reading it, and you're like, dude, that's me, or whatever. And somehow, it's like God speaks to you, not like the voice like, yeah, Brian, I want you to know. It's more like you kind of feel it in your heart. And again, it's unique for each person. But I'm just saying, for me though, it's like as you read it after about a year of that, I don't know anybody who's gone through the whole book and hasn't come out the other side, so to speak, changed in some way, or at least enlightened, or thought, you know what, I never knew that, I'll consider this. And I'm not even talking churchy stuff or any single religion. It's more like
a relationship.
Getting back to just relationship only. Just like, okay, that makes sense. And you start to kind of understand, you start getting in and starting appreciating a lot of even the people that are who are going through whatever the trials are or whatnot, and the stories that are told. I'm just saying, it's me.
Do you think you like feel the same way if you read, say, I don't know, Dianetics or, any other kind of religious material?
The problem, I will tell you, the problem I have with Dianetics, and I tried reading that too, is at the end of the day, it all kind of boils down to, it's up to me only. I can only find my own heaven. It's up to me to try to figure out how to make it in the end, or how to make it to an enlightenment or whatnot. And it left me kind of empty in the sense of, I'm thinking, well, shit, at the end of the day, it's like, if it's up to me, I'm like, every breath I'm taking is one breath closer to my last, and I'm just eventually going to move into a realm of non-existence, which is very discouraging for me.
Well, L. Ron Hubbard was a really shitty writer. If you read that, I'll feel it. I mean, oh my God.
Right? And so I will tell you, yeah. So for me, it was like, that left, I'll be honest, that one kind of felt different now. I studied Buddhism as well, and even then, Buddha was like saying at the end, he was sort of kind of unfulfilled, and it still kind of left it with like, yeah, it's up to me to try to figure it out. Christianity was kind of like the opposite. It was like, no, Paul, you can't make it to heaven, but I'm going to for you if you put your faith in me.
And what's the difference? And what is different between?
I'm just saying that's what gave me. I'm just saying, Brian. I'm just saying from my universe, that's what made sense to me. Like,
and what makes sense to me is that what makes sense to me is that I've studied other different religions, the Muslims, the Christianity, the Judaism, the Buddha, and all of them are worshiping a dead prophet. The only alive person that the Bible claims is Jesus. The Christians worship an alive person, a person that is coming back. They don't talk about the dead prophet.
Like, is he really alive if he has to come back? I mean,
well, they're talking about he's the only one that's actually ascended to heaven, that died and rose again.
That was
and that will return. That's from the Bible. But that's what got me. That's my own personal, that is what got me, is why I chose Christianity, because it's like, I know in my heart, it's like what Paul said, you go through it and you read the Bible, the full cover to cover, you listen to it cover to cover.
And it's a challenge. It
is a challenge. It's a very challenging thing.
It's a self-discipline thing.
Yes. And I just feel that the Lord God just awakens people at different times in life. And not everybody is going to say at the same time, Christ, you are my Savior. But there's a whole lifetime to learn about it.
Well, I mean, if we're talking about, enlightenment, if we're talking about truth, obviously, the Buddhists believe, that's, they're sort of their goal too. So, if that's the end, is Christianity then just a means to the end? For yourself, you could feel a certain way?
No, the end is so that you'll obtain everlasting life, and to know that you have that God will save you. If that's the problem again, then I have Buddhism, is that I had to figure it out on my own, and at the end of the day, even Buddha kind of admit, at the end of the day, it's like, I'm still going to die. There is no, you can keep as much as you can, right, there was no real hope. I still left me empty. I'm like, yeah, the horse like you said, L. Ron Hubbard. I was like, you give me a break. I'm sorry. I'm saying, just but there has to be an afterlife. Why does there have to be? Is the word? Okay, so it's like a matter. Well, that's why does there have to be? It's not even necessarily afterlife. It's that, like, it's the life that you've always had. So in other words, if we're understanding this correctly, is that you are created. You weren't created to die. It was like we were created to always live and to live with God.
Right.
We chose to disobey. And again, this is according to
the Bible.
What we would read. And originally in the Torah, which was a part of the Tanakh, or what we call the Old Testament.
Right.
No, Christianity is based on Judaism. So, and as a result of that, you know what would be called, you're falling away from this life, and it's what's called death. So, why does there have to be an afterlife if there is no real death? It's like there's a death to the body, but your soul continues, according to what we have read in the Bible. And actually, I believe in other religions as well, that there is still a soul. Where that soul goes, though, ultimately kind of depends on the choices that we make of how we can find our way back. From Buddhism, at least from what I understand and all that, it's like you're still kind of on your own. I mean, you still have to find your own enlightenment, trying to find it. And I'm not poo-pooing it, I'm just saying that is what I uncovered from it. But with Christianity, it's like you're trying to find out your roots was originally, okay, heaven was where we were at. Currently, our goal is to try to be back with God again. And and that was the reason why there had to be what they call a sacrifice to be made for us falling away. And that's what he was saying, is like, you can't make it to heaven. It's like, no matter what you do, you can try to be good or whatever. I mean, we all try to strive to be that way. But still, it's like, no matter how good you are, if I will take it upon myself of everything you've done to rebel against me, because I love you so much, and I want you to be with me. And that was the sacrifice that Christ made. And that's, we're getting tempted to for faith. So while the games, I'm not sure, well, that's about even something for you at all or not.
No, I'm just like, why all the games then? Like, why all the, why, I mean, if he's just looking for friends, up in heaven, then, what's the point of, life then? Some people are going to go to hell or, what they believe. To me, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would you have a son just to die, and if you don't, I mean, everybody's going to die anyway, then, some people go to heaven, some people go to hell. I just don't get that. But he loves everybody. Right? I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Okay, well, that's one thing. It helps if you read it, because, again, I mean, I could probably continue to try to explain it, but unless you actually do the due diligence of actually... Oh, okay, go ahead.
Who is the Zonic? Is that who wrote it? The audio that you're talking about?
I don't understand.
The audio Bible.
The audio Bible.
The audio Bible. Who wrote it?
The company is called Zondervan.
Zondervan. Okay, after we get done, will you print that out for me, or would you type that in our YouTube link?
Zondervan? Oh no, Zondervan is just the name of the company. It's a biblical publishing company. You can just pop on Google. Let me try real quick here. ZONC. The book.
No.
ZONDRVAN. It's a company for that.
Because I want to find it. Okay, this is going to be my challenge. Brian, if I buy this and lets you borrow it, are you willing to listen to it and somewhat listen to it with an open mind?
Probably not.
Probably not.
I mean,
okay.
I understand. Like, I understand the whole. I understand the concept.
Okay.
I don't think. Any sort of enlightenment I get is not going to be, what I look at as being just folklore. I really don't trust, almost anything somebody from, 2,000 years ago, like
okay.
what their take on modern life.
Okay, so really what would you say? Now you and I, we've been friends for a long time. We've been into choir together. We've been friends.
Always bringing up the 6th grade choir. Huh?
Always bringing up the 6th grade choir with Brian. Brian's an excellent singer. Brian can sing.
Okay, we're always looking for band members.
Brian's a good-looking guy, and he can sing and has a killer good personality.
Awesome.
Yes. So what I was going to say is, Brian, from some of my Facebook posting and some of my stuff, my brother is agnostic. How would you say that I can relate with him when he will not talk with me because I'm a Christian?
I just wouldn't bring up the Christianity thing. You're a person too, right?
Right.
To me, the whole problem comes down with belief. A lot of people think they're starting, like organized religion. I take it a step further and I say, like with me anyway, the problem is with belief. Like believing in something. Like to me, just the idea of belief is, I feel a certain way about something, even though I can't back it up with any sort of actual information or back it up with any sort of science. Like I just believe it. Which puts you on like the same level as like, I believe, I can fly, or I believe the moon's made out of cheese or something. The idea of just feeling, you're going off of feelings, or just going off of, this is just what I feel, this is just what I believe, to me, it's a little illogical for, the modern world that we live in. And it generally tends to cause a lot of problems, I think, that we see in the world, especially that, come from, the religious areas, whether it's Islamic fundamentalism or Christian fundamentalism, or any kind of fundamentalism, really. That's sort of my position on that. So just, be still your brother. Don't be one of those people that, have to mention Jesus 300 times in a 4-minute conversation.
Okay. Well,
great. Tell him you love him, and he can believe whatever he believes, and, you don't have to push it on him. People really kind of hate that. But,
right.
That would be my advice.
I totally agree. I usually, if someone brings it up, like, I'll let them be the ones who say, well, why do you think this way? Let them be the ones to bring it up if there's a question or something. Remember, it's like, you don't convert people, okay? And I would say, your Brian, is like anybody does convert you. A Christian, a real Christian, I have found,
will love you no matter what.
Well, yeah, a real Christian shouldn't be doing any converting right from the get-go, in my opinion.
Right.
That's for God to do.
That's for God. That's for the Lord.
Well, there's a term called a calling, and I don't mean like you hear a voice or anything. You'll feel something. You'll feel a change. Like I said, but for everybody, at least for any from my perspective, it's a unique experience. If and when you feel it, you'll know. And I can't explain it really. It's something that you'll just simply, it will just make sense. It'll just click. I can't explain it. I'm sure it's unique for every person. But I can tell you this much. Yeah, if someone's trying to convert you, it's like they're going about it like in a horrible way. So it's like,
you can take a look at Facebook and, the trolling and the boards these days. You can see just how well it is, how easily people get converted to people of differing ideas.
It's things like that, right? That's perfect. Like, I'll read it, I'm like, no. I'm like looking at this like, oh my gosh. And it's like these people that, and you know what? It's funny because when I look at this, I'm like, you know what? I can almost respect their intentions, but their actions are just atrocious. I'll be honest.
Like when I post stuff on LinkedIn or Facebook or something like that, it's not that I'm trying to convert people to Jesus. It's I am feeling the love that I have for him, and I want to share it. I want to sing it out, and a lot of people look at it that as, oh God, there goes Sam preaching again.
Yeah.
Well, you can sing anything you want. I mean, you can just do it in the confines of your home. You're not going to annoy people. Because people are just automatically looking for that.
Right.
Here comes the Jesus talk again.
Yeah, exactly. Here comes the Jesus freak.
There she comes. Yeah.
Scroll on by.
Scroll on by. Hit the laughing out loud button.
All right. And I'll be honest, I can't see that blame them because it's the same thing when you say, "Oh, it's the person," I'm like, "No," and it's like, whatever.
Right.
Well, I would describe me on the majority of Samantha's posts.
What?
Oh, Lord. Or else just killing me.
What was that?
Sometimes.
Oh, that's awesome.
What Brian say? Brian, what'd you say?
I was just describing myself.
Oh, a majority of Samantha's posts.
It's only offensive.
Yes.
Come on,
Yeah.
Samantha, invisible man that lives in the sky. Come on. You're an adult. A little older than we believe to be Santa Claus.
Oh, yeah. Until I text you at like 4 o'clock in the morning, huh, Brian?
That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Then Sam's cool.
Anyway.
Then Sam's the cool one, but
us evil non-believers.
Right. No. Well, anyways, okay. Well, this has been a great coffee talk, guys. Thank you, Brian, for being a guest on our show. And enlightening with what you think. And Paul, thank you for your insight. And Paul, for our LinkedIn link, I want to get the company name of the audio Bible that you mentioned so people can listen to it.
Yeah.
And Brian?
That's an actual link per se, but it's a publishing company called Zondervan.
Zondervan. Okay, great, everybody.
Zondervan. And it says, just Google Zondervan Audio Bible. It's like an NIV version, whatever your favorite flavor is. And I just really don't want to have like music and sound effects. And it's more like listening to a radio play. But that thing is called, I just prefer that to it. Maybe sense to me.
Right. Well, great, everyone. Thank you so much. Guess we will have everyone on next week, a different guest speaker. Brian Lumsley, it's been a pleasure having you on our show, my friend.
Thank you very much. If anybody's interested more in any of my, any of the things that I believe, you can check out Richard Hawkins. He's got a lot of lectures on, he wrote a book called The God Delusion. And anybody else that's interested, you can check out The Esoteric Order of Dagon by H.P. Lovecraft.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much, guys. Paul, we will chat tomorrow. Right. Brian, I will chat tomorrow with you, too. This has been Samantha, Paul, Coffee Talk, and Brian Walmsley. You all have a great evening. Goodbye.
Thanks.
All right. Bye.